guest tire. I already know. That's all right. I'm here now. Let's see. Let's see how this goes. Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday, Twitter Tuesday. You know what? I think I'm just going to make this one. I think I'm just going to get this one started because I'm late and my pay is being docked. So, Johnny, how about if we just play the intro?
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Hello. How you doing? Here is my face. Good morning. Hey everybody, welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet, and welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel on this Tuesday, the 28th of February, 2023, the last day of the month. Remember, tomorrow's the first. Say rabbit. First things out of your mouth when you wake up, and you will have good luck during the month of March. Also, it's the month that we celebrate St. Patrick's Day coming up. We got, what else is coming up in March? Something's happening. No, my mother's birthday's in May, so that's not it. There's some other stuff coming up in March, and I can't remember what. Anyway, I got bills to pay. That's what it is. Anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful morning. And don't say rabbit. We would not like you to get rabies. So anyway, happy Tuesday. It's Twitter Tuesday, and so everything we do on Tuesdays is usually from the app with the bird, the app that's giving you the bird. It's had a couple issues lately, though. They've had some problems. I noticed I no longer get the news headline thing that they've been giving me as a subscriber to get certain features, and so we'll see how long I keep subscribing to get the super extra features. But anyway, let's just get into it because I don't have a lot of time today, and no fault of yours, obviously, because I'm the guy who clicks the buttons. So anyway, wanted to talk about things that are trending on Twitter, and I noticed. Let's see if there's anything else come up new. There's a lot of things happening in the NFL, but I don't normally talk about sports a lot. Although, the one interesting thing is, this is weird, and I'm bringing this one up first just because it's kind of a throwaway thing that's trending, but it's a little strange. Leslie Frazier, the defensive coordinator for the Bills, is taking a year off. Now that's just strange to me. Here it is, and it's trending fairly high this morning. Defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier has decided to take a year off from coaching in 2023. He plans to return to coaching in 2024. Now the Bills is whether you watch American football or not, the Bills is a very successful team as of late, and he's known as one of the better defensive coordinators in the league. And so I'm trying to figure out why someone would take a year off. And the only thing I can think of is there some sort of scandal that's about to pop up in the NFL? Let's see, with the Bills as their defensive coordinator, Bills have had multiple seasons where their defense is ranked in the top 5 in the NFL. Since 2017, the Bills have allowed an average of 20 points per game. I don't know. Maybe something's happening in his family. Is there a scandal coming up? But it's going to be interesting to see where this came from. It's very strange. So, like I said, it's kind of a throwaway for my show because I don't talk about sports a lot. But I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering. So anyway, wait a minute. Opposite the back of your head, if you can find that. Wait, work around. Okay, I'm not sure that. Wait, where are we going? Why would she go to Canada? Oh, yeah, we're gonna talk. You know what? Let's say hi to everybody and get right into this because I know we want to. Everyone's already talking about Fetterman in the chat. First, the chat over on Rumble. Avocados Diabli gets the bell. Thank you for joining us. Also, good morning, Simon Wolfwood, Mike Savage, Blarg, and that's everybody over there. Fetterman. I've seen rumors Fetterman is brain dead in a hospital, and they're trying to hide it until after August, so there won't be another election. Again, rumors. That is a rumor. I've seen that too. I don't know what to believe. In fact, his family put out a statement today. I'll get to that. But let's say hi to people on YouTube also. First in the chat over there is also Avocados Diabli, who gets a bell. Also, good morning, Simon Wolfwood, HP Lovecraft, Mike Savage, Blarg, Kessler's in the house. What's up, Dr. Funkenstein's Ghost? That'd be Ty Alexander. Also, good morning to Hig from the home base in Florida. Let's see. Fake news experts here. Good morning. Rabbit. That's an account with multiple personalities. Good morning. Also, hello, Lord Stanhope. Let's see. I'm scrolling. Aaron Meredith, what's happening? And that's it. We're a little bit light today because, of course, I'm late. And when I'm late, we stay light. But you know what? If you guys all would do me a favor, share this stream. And, is there a playback problem on YouTube? Is something going wrong on YouTube? I'm just curious. Hello, Shrapnel. How you doing? No ominous music. Oh, yeah. Avocados Diabli. I need a different ominous music for you, though. That's okay. Oh, Monkey's almost always also streaming. Well, gosh darn it. What the hell's going on there? And also, y'all, can you see me on YouTube? I'm having a playback error, so I'm refreshing my back page, what do they call it? Backstage screen. Okay, it's working over here. I was just wondering. That was weird. Okay, so, okay, and Monkey's always... Well, let's see what Monkey's talking about. Hang on a second. Let's check in with the ranting monkey. I'm going to put him on my screen here, and we're going to screen snipe and see what's happening. Let's see. Okay, here he goes. There am I. And ranting monkey. He's talking... Is he talking about the Little Mermaid? What the hell? Who cares about the little damn mermaid? Let's see. And he's been streaming for... 12 minutes. So he started this. He started right when I did. That explains it. Well, here, let's see what he's saying about the Little Mermaid. Hang on. Let's put him on here. We're going to put him on my screen. I'm going to screen snipe and maybe I'll make fun of Monkey.
But no. We got to change that. She got to be a strong, independent woman who goes up to the surface because she wants to, I guess. Grotto, thank you. That is the word I was trying to get to,
okay,
Matt.
So
I'm sorry, can I call you Matt, or do you prefer Matthew? Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Okay, so he must have. Maybe he's seen the Little
Jungle
Mermaid.
Book is better. I love the Jungle Book.
Or unless he's seen the trailer.
But
I don't know.
Little Mermaid is my favorite movie ever. Not favorite movie ever. My favorite Disney movie.
Oh, come on, Monkey.
It's my favorite Disney cartoon.
Much better.
It has
than
been
Little
for
Mermaid.
a long, long time.
Maybe he's never seen
I
Hercules.
absolutely
I don't
adore
know.
the music in it. And it's
you can't even see
simplistic.
that,
It's
can you?
supposed
See?
to be. It's not supposed to be this long drawn out thing where she goes up there and she finds life and it's like, oh, life is great up here. Oh,
right.
By the way, there's a prince. I guess I can. He's the cherry on top.
Okay, that's it. We don't need to talk to Monkey. We'll just do our own thing over here. But anyway, if he's still streaming when I'm done, we'll go say hi. If I'm still streaming when he's done, maybe his audience will come and say hi to me. But most likely he'll be there longer than I will because I am only going to go till half past the next hour. So anyway, all right, let's get into this thing about Fetterman though. Jay Pylon's in the house. How you doing? Oh, there he is. Did I miss anybody? I think I got everybody. All right. So anyway, let's talk about John Fetterman. Because he's been trending for 2 dang days. I'm going to move this to the back here. He's been trending for 2 days. Because if you didn't know, John Fetterman checked himself into a hospital a few days ago because he's battling depression. And I'm sure it has to do, with the recovery from a stroke. He's struggling to function after his stroke, but still Democrats decided to vote him into the United States Senate. And so it is, he's attempted to serve in the United States Senate, but they said they were, that, Jimmy Dazotep too is here. Good morning, sir. I'm sorry, Jimmy, I didn't see you there. I do now. Let's see. Oh, no, it was 2 weeks ago. Sitting U.S. Senator was admitted to a hospital. Well, here, let me put the trending topic on the screen here on Twitter. We'll just kind of go through some of the things people are saying. And then we'll get to the couple things I'll feature because, well, here, let's do the feature article first. Wait, we're going to skip that one. What happened to the AP article? I thought I had it right here. Well, here, we'll just pull it right off of the trending topic here. So, in the Associated Press, this is from yesterday. Fetterman's path to recovery. Now, this is fascinating because I'll laugh about the Scientific American article from the fall. Good morning, Maddie. Also, good morning, Matt. So, Fetterman on the path to recovery will be out for 2 more weeks. This is just just yesterday they put this out. A spokesman for Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman says the Democrat is on a path to recovery after checking himself into a hospital for clinical depression earlier this month, and he's expected to be away from the Senate for several weeks. We understand the intense interest in John's status and especially appreciate the flood of well wishes, Fetterman's communications director John Covello said in a statement Monday afternoon. However, as we have said, this will be a weeks-long process. Weeks? Okay, it's interesting because someone said 2 weeks. This is a weeks-long process. And while we're sure, we will be sure to keep folks updated as it progresses, this is all there is to give by way of an update. Fetterman has been being treated at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, where he checked in February 15th as he is still struggling from the after effects of a stroke. His office said at the time that he had experienced depression off and on throughout his life, but it had only become severe in recent weeks. Capitol physician Brian P. Monahan recommended his hospitalization after an evaluation, his office said then. Fetterman, 53, suffered the stroke on last May as he was campaigning in a tough Senate race against GOP nominee Dr. Mehmet Oz. He won the election in November and was sworn in January 3rd, giving Democrats an extra seat in the U.S. Senate and a 51-49 majority. One of Fetterman's main after effects from the stroke is auditory processing disorder, which can render someone unable to speak fluidly and quickly process spoken conversation into meaning. To manage it, Fetterman uses devices in conversations, meetings, and congressional hearings that transcribe spoken words in real time. Post-stroke depression is common with 1 in 3 stroke patients suffering from it and is treatable through antidepressant medication and counseling, doctors say. Pennsylvania. Now, I don't know why they put this in here. Pennsylvania's other senator, Democrat Bob Casey, returned to the Senate on Monday. He had been away. He was also underwent surgery. He had been away in recent weeks after he underwent surgery for prostate cancer. So the Pennsylvania Senate delegation has had some health issues. Now, I want to show you the article though that. Now, look, by the way, let me say this right from the start. I don't want anything I talk about Senator Fetterman to be misconstrued as me making fun of Senator Fetterman. Because I really, regardless of my differences with his political philosophy and policy, etc., I wish him no ill will. And in fact, I wish him a full, speedy recovery. But this is a stroke. And this is one of those things that takes a long time, having dealt with family members who have had strokes. It's not an easy process. And so I sympathize with him, but I don't sympathize with the voters of Pennsylvania. And I do not necessarily think his family and the advisors around him had his best interests in mind when they continued to push him in through this Senate race. This is not an easy thing to deal with. And again, I know this from experience. And so I completely question the raw politics of it. So anyway, it's oh my God, AD. Can't say how much care if he's dead or alive. Don't see much difference between the two where he's concerned. That's an interesting way to put it. That's terrible. Now, there's some interesting things though going on around this. And that's where I'm going to get into some of the Twitter banter on this, because there are certain things that people are saying that are just fascinating and maybe apropos. So we're going to go through this Twitter trend a little bit, and hopefully no unnecessary human phallic parts show up, or non-phallic parts, or anyway. So Juanita Broderick, the woman who had unwanted relations with Bill Clinton, says, is John Fetterman cryogenically frozen somewhere until the cure for the brain dead is discovered? There are rumors that he's brain dead. I don't look, let's just say it's a rumor. Don't necessarily. Kaylin James, how you doing? I wonder if people regret voting for Democrats now. Oh no, the true believers never will feel bad. Was that Pickle Fetterman? Yes, it was. I'll get to that. Anyway. So this is funny though, because Scientific American put out this article. This is back in October 2021, before the election. John Fetterman shows how well the brain recovers after a stroke. Following the stroke, the brain's own repair processes can lead to a strong recovery in people such as Senate candidate John Fetterman. Now, look, and again, I don't want to make fun of John Fetterman, but I will make fun of Scientific American for putting out this article. Fetterman clearly struggled late in the election. He can't process verbal communications, either from the listening or speaking sense. And that's why he has to have a translator, like a transcription box, I guess they call it that. It's like a notepad that transcribes what people say to you, because he cannot process spoken word. He can only process written word. And I'm sure that is part of the source of his depression. After a stroke, you have such difficulty just processing what most people can do simply, and he can hardly speak. So his brain processes and trying to communicate are just all whacked out. And so and it's a stroke. This is going to happen. And so, we don't know how his brain processes things. But this article, going back, actually makes me laugh a little bit. John Fetterman, Democratic candidate, in the highly watched Pennsylvania Senate race against television personality Mehmet Oz, known as Dr. Oz, suffered an ischemic stroke, the obstruction of a vessel that supplies blood to part of a brain, in May. The blockage causes brain cells to be starved of essential oxygen and nutrients. Within minutes, cells start to die. 5 months later, Fetterman sat down for an interview with NBC News, where he used closed captioning technology to help manage the auditory processing issues caused by the stroke. I sometimes hear things in a way that's not perfectly clear, Fetterman told NBC's news correspondent Dasha Burns. So I use captioning so I'm able to see what you're saying. Oz and other Republicans have questioned Fetterman's fitness for office and attacked him for needing accommodations. So they made it an ableist argument. All good. Fetterman ate worth of velvet painting of a whale and a dolphin getting it on, but neither was Dr. Oz. Yeah, Dr. Oz was a bad candidate. I mean, look, Trump's friend, whatever, but I just think they could have found a better candidate. So anyway, aphasia, the inability to understand and express speech, is very common following a stroke, impacting an estimated third of the people who have one. Fetterman's campaign has denied he has aphasia. Well, if he didn't have aphasia, he would be able to understand what people are saying. But that's just me. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to diagnose him, but interesting. But some of his symptoms are consistent with the condition. Oh, is that it? He doesn't have it. He has the symptoms of it, but he doesn't have it. Those who have a stroke in their left brain hemisphere, which serves as the center of language processing, and most people are particularly vulnerable. For the brain to recover, it must modify and adapt to this new inquiry. So anyway, this blah, blah, blah is on and on about how well the brain recovers after a stroke. And he's just a model for what happens. Yeah, that's probably, it's funny that article keeps coming up when people talk about John Fetterman. So, and then there's just a bunch of people doing, some are doing mean memes. Most of the people I see on Twitter talking about John Fetterman are like me. Don't want him in the Senate anyway, but I hope he recovers and for his family's sake. Now, speaking of his family, one of the strange things that happened. Oh wait, I'm starting to worry about this. I'm starting to worry about Senator John Fetterman. He was admitted to a hospital 2 weeks ago. We have received no press updates about his condition. His wife left the country with their kids. Yes, his wife left the country with their kids. Now, there's been a couple different interpretations of her leaving the country. One interpretation is that they had planned to take the kids on a trip up into Canada for some reason, and that they just didn't change the plans. The other was this interpretation by The Independent. John Fetterman's wife, Gazelle, says family fled to Canada to avoid media circus over depression. Now, this is fascinating. How is it your husband, your beloved husband, who you stayed behind during an entire Senate campaign and over a year and whatever, and he's depressed and depression, why would you leave the country when your husband is checked into a hospital? Oh, especially over depression. You would think that doctors would say, well, no, you should be here because his depression's not going to get better with you and you taking him and his kids away to Canada. But here is the article. The family of Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman described how they fled to Canada to escape a media circus over his, quote, severe, end quote, clinical depression. Mr. Fetterman, a Democrat who won his first term last year. I like how why did they just say I guess his first term, maybe his only term, who knows. Last year, while still recovering from a stroke that nearly killed him. Now, that's an interesting way to put it. Again, this is The Independent, the New York Times owned British news source, I'll call it. Interesting. Nearly killed him. I didn't realize that. Checked himself into the Walter Reed Medical Center near Washington, D.C. early this month. Now his wife, Gazelle Barreto Fetterman, has said that media attention pushed her to take the couple's children and drive north into Canada for an impromptu holiday. Okay, I guess she's using holiday in the British sense as in vacation. I'm not really sure how to navigate this journey, but I'm figuring it out slowly, Ms. Fetterman tweeted Friday. 1 week ago today, when the news dropped, the kids were off from school and the media trucks circled our home. I did the first thing I could think of, pack them in the car and drive. Gee, you would think that all she could just ask for extra security. I don't understand this. We talked about a lot of hard things and how we will have to face hard things, about the need to be gentle with all and with ourselves. We did some scary things, but we did them together. We zipped line over Niagara Falls and our son August got stuck. We talked about flexibility, the need to always have an open heart and open mind. What is she talking about? We also talked about how joy and fun can and must still exist, even when someone we love is in pain. And tomorrow, who knows, we will try all over again. Now, I'm not sure. How old are her kids? I don't even know. Does anyone know how old her kids are? Where's the picture of there was a picture here earlier somewhere, and I'm probably going to, okay, so no. Yes, and by the way, someone asked this. Look, this is kind of mean. Oh, you can't see it anyway. As I'm scrolling through here, someone asked if there was it's not a pickle, it's a cucumber, John Fetterman. John Fetterman appears on camera. See, perfectly healthy. I don't think that's necessary, but I mean, I suppose it's slightly humorous. If he recovers completely, you might go back and go, yeah, that was funny. Where's John Fetterman? Would his wife Gazelle really go on a holiday if he is brain dead? I'm guessing not, because the head of the Washington County GOP requested that Senator Fetterman appear on video as a proof of life. So anyway, her leaving though, I don't understand that. So here's her tweets. He drove straight to Canada and they're doing all this stuff. The controversy continued after his victory, with the conservatives accusing him of deceiving voters as to the extent of his illness, while disability advocates argued that he is being unfairly stigmatized for needing accommodations that are often required by law in U.S. workplaces. But he was getting the accommodations. That's not the problem. The problem is, can he function as a United States Senator? His kids are teenagers? I did not know that. Thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep, for sponsoring the show. And Jimmy Das Hotep, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, sir. Dropping a big bullet in the tip jar. Jimmy says, in all seriousness, it is pathetic how the, quote, news, end quote, media wants to spin this. Fetterman is suffering, and maybe instead of pushing him to be the hero, they should push him to real help. Wife sounds like she is expecting him to go away. Yeah, I'm kind of concerned about that myself. That's the weird thing about this. Thank you, Jimmy D. It's weird that she would leave the country while he's in the hospital, supposedly fighting for his life. Well, not fighting for life, fighting depression. So, and again, let's see, here's what this staff released. Let's see what time. This was this morning at 7 a.m. They released this statement on his health. And no update on wife after she fled the country. That's an interesting way to put it. Now, this is Western Journal, which tends to lean conservative. Democratic Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania remains at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. According to an update from his office, Fetterman, 53, suffered a stroke. In May, he went on to win the election to the Senate in November. He was evaluated last week by Dr. Brian Monahan, the attending physician of Congress, and checked himself in to be treated for symptoms of clinical depression, according to CBS. Fetterman has suffered from depression on and off throughout his life. We already heard this, according to Adam Gentleson, the senator's chief of staff, noting it had become more frequent. We don't have a lot to update folks since there was no real news to report except that John is doing well, working with the wonderful doctors, and remains on a path of recovery. John Covello, a representative from Fetterman's office, said in a statement to the Washington Post. He is visiting with staff and family daily. Wait a minute. How is he visiting with them? Oh, you mean they're visiting with him? They're going to see him, I guess? Hey, Tex AG, what up? And his staff are keeping him updated on Senate business and news. We understand the intense interest in John's status and especially appreciate the flood of well wishes. However, as we have said, this will be a week. Okay, we read this whole statement in the other article, so I'm not going to continue. But here it is. No update was released on the status of Gazelle Fetterman, the senator's wife, who last week noted on Twitter that she fled to Canada when her husband was hospitalized. And they have the tweets here also. NBC has quoted. NBC had quoted what it said was a close senior aide as saying Fetterman's stay was likely to be lengthy until doctors were certain they had achieved the correct dosage of for the medicine Fetterman would be taking. The aide said Fetterman has been struggling with the changes that have taken place in his life and questioning his self-worth. Well, that's just odd. That's just odd because he was elected to the United States Senate. So go figure. So that's why John Fetterman's trending. I think I have a couple other articles linked here in the tabs. By the way, everything we do on the show will be in a single link in the description. Second paragraph, there'll be a one tab link that will take you to a single page with every article, tweet, video, and what else we do on here. So anyway, let's move on. Someone else who is trending. Someone else trending on Twitter is Anti-Maxine. Anti-Maxine Waters is trending on Twitter. She is. The only thing I think of, because it's not for anything that she happens to be doing right now, but I think it's because of something that happened to Nancy Pelosi, and so people are mentioning what Well, let me remind you what Maxine Waters told people. It was a few years ago when she said, quote, "Let's make sure we show up wherever we have to. And if you see any of them in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out there and create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anywhere, anymore, anywhere." Okay, remember when she said that? That's a quote, okay, Anti-Maxine. Well, apparently Nancy Pelosi was in a restaurant. Now, I haven't even looked at the clip. I just saw that someone was bugging in a restaurant. So here's the clip, and I think this is part of why Maxine Waters is trending. Now, so this is Maxine Waters being accosted in a well, I don't know if these. It looks like reporters because they have a camera, but here it is.
Let me just get you to
Nancy, can you tell us why we have all the $150 billion going to Ukraine? We have homeless on the streets in your own city. Nancy, can I get some stock trading tips on how to get semiconductors in Taiwan? Nancy, Nancy, is your son involved with Hunter Biden?
Okay, so someone apparently was trying to interview her, and this guy decided to ask some questions that the rest of us want to know. And so there's that. So like I said, if she, as Anti-Maxie said, they're not welcome anymore anywhere. You go and show up wherever you have to. You see them in any restaurant, department store, gasoline station. You get out and create a crowd. So that's one person in Congress who was I wouldn't say harassed, but just asked some questions that some other people want us to answer. But she's not the only person in Congress who got harassed yesterday. Let's see. Marjorie Taylor Greene also was harassed yesterday, apparently in a restaurant. Marjorie Taylor Greene says, "I was attacked in a restaurant tonight by an insane woman and screamed at by her adult son. They had no respect for the restaurant or the staff or the people dining or people like me who simply have different political views. They are self-righteous, insane, and completely out of control. I was sitting at my table working with my staff and never even noticed these people until they turned to demons. People used to respect others even if they had different views, but not anymore. Our country is gone." Now this is and look, I don't agree that you should accost these people in public places, especially if they're just having dinner or something. Was she attacked or attacked? Let's see. Wait, attacked or quote attacked? Well, yelled at by some crazy people, which doesn't surprise me. Now, this person had a question about it. Weren't you the one who called the U.S. president a liar in front of hundreds of people inside the Senate House of the United States of America? Yeah, because Biden is a liar. That's no surprise. And she said, "I'm not even an American, but thousands of miles away, I heard how rude you were. They say you reap what you sow, so here it is." Well, I wonder where does this person live? This person is somewhere, some international relations, Middle East journalist, specific. Okay, I don't care. Look, you've never seen a parliament. You've never seen people working like the British Parliament or even the Canadian Parliament. They yell over each other all the time. So anyway, and then they claim, "Oh, weren't you stalking David Hogg, a student?" A student? I'm sorry, he's an adult now. He wasn't. He wasn't stalking him. So anyway, getting back to why Maxine was trending, I'm not really sure. I see a bunch of clips of her doing things. Now, this is a fake, this is a parody account. What the hell difference does it make if the virus came from a bat or a dog. I don't see the point of bringing up this controversy again, talking about the Energy Department and the COVID-19 news that came out yesterday that we talked about. But so here's the clip of her when she made that statement, though, about how they should go harass Republicans.
If we can't protect the children, we can't protect anybody. If you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you
yes, harass everyone in Congress. That's exactly what people should do. She told people at the rally to stand up against the Trump's administration. Well, that's not standing up against Trump's administration. That's just, that's just harassing people that you don't like. So I don't know why she's trending, but that seems to be part of it. Now, let's see. What was the other one here? All right. Oh, and also arrest Katie Hobbs is trending. Now, I don't know if any of you are following this, but apparently there was some testimony in some hearing in Full Metal Kitten. Welcome to the show. That's a new subscriber. Welcome. A list of Arizona officials who took bribes in the from the Sinaloa drug cartel. Whereas the FBI, DOJ, U.S., and state attorney generals arrest Katie Hobbs, Maricopa County, blah, blah, blah. So there was some testimony of this woman who was talking about this cartel. And apparently a lot of these people, this is what the spreadsheet say, elected and appointed officials with falsified deeds, which is interesting because the new governor, Katie Hobbs, is on this list, Secretary of State / Governor of Arizona. So I'm not really sure what's going on down there. I probably need to look that up a little bit. But so it just came out that Katie Hobbs, the governor of Arizona, accepted bribes from the Sinaloa cartel. Where's the FBI? So lots of people talking about this. Is this, what is this?
A brief question about the statement that you made. Oh, you just spilled your soda. Are you going to clean that up or just leave that here for the business? I just wanted to ask you about the comments you made on undercover footage regarding having a disdain for discussing politics. Now, you recall that, Secretary Hobbs? You kind of talked about how you don't like to discuss policy, you don't like to debate. Just wanted to know if that
this is back when she
your
would not
decision.
debate.
I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk politics with anyone who I don't know.
You've been caught on camera discussing your disdain for policy.
Okay, that's back when Project Veritas cornered her. Anyway, wait a minute. You got to see this. This is a doll about Katie Hobbs. Cartel Katie Barbie. I have no idea. 10 deeds included. So apparently, it's arrest a whole bunch of judges, attorneys, court clerks, notaries, and forgers. Round them up. We expect and demand every single criminal to be arrested and prosecuted, including Arizona Attorney General, and I believe Ducey, he knew too. Anyone following this? I'm not really sure. Most of what that woman in Arizona said was secondhand info, though. Was it? Okay. People have too much free time. So anyway, that's why Katie Hobbs is trending. Again, welcome to Twitter Tuesday. I'm Dawg Knight if you're just getting here. Let's see. Oh, and we talked about David Hogg yesterday, and he's trending again. Mainly for the same thing, and of course, I think both Crass and Scenes chimed in. But he's trending because of this post again, if you weren't watching yesterday. Talked with a professor at Harvard University yesterday about this, can confirm, talking about the Second Amendment. Hey, TC, what's up? And so now people are still talking about him because I got caught it early in the game. So here, Carmine Sabia, David Hogg got into Harvard because he's a fantastic actor. Kid was getting rejection letters from mediocre schools and then suddenly was accepted by Harvard. Well, that's because, he's on the right side of history, right? And the NRA actually tweeted about him from yesterday. Mike Bloomberg's paid activist David Hogg went on an unhinged Twitter rant last night, denying the truth about our Second Amendment and attacking the NRA. This fellow can't even comprehend 27 words. How'd he get into Harvard? That's a good question. Someone here, whether you agree with David Hogg about gun control or not, this meme he posted is historically accurate. Well, it's historically accurate that Warren Burger might have said that. That's about it. My husband and I have guns. We are both both history nuts, and so we've discussed this topic more than once. The NRA routinely lies. 2A isn't about what they say it's about. So again, they're on this kick about the Second Amendment not being about being an individual right. So anyway, enough about David Hogg. But some people are still complaining about how Marjorie Taylor Greene stalked and harassed David Hogg, and this is the clip that they're using for that. Maybe if I get it up here, there we go. This is the clip they used about Marjorie Taylor Greene stalking and harassing David Hogg, Harvard student and adult male, not a kid.
And how did you get kids? Why do you use kids? Why kids? You know, if school zones were protected,
This is before
by
she was a
security
Congress
guards with
person,
guns,
by the way.
there would be no mass shootings at schools. You know that?
Oh, because he was in Washington. Okay, got it. So anyway, people are saying, oh, well, you were harassing David Hogg. Well, you know, I don't know that you necessarily need to harass him, but if he puts himself out there, maybe he should be asked questions that nobody's asking him. I don't know. All right, moving on. Who else? Stephen Colbert's trending. Now, Stephen Colbert is trending because he was very upset about the energy department putting out a story about this possible leak from the lab in Wuhan.
China is asshole.
And so part of his show last night, let's see, what did he say? He was saying that the energy part should stay in their lane. This is interesting. I wonder if I'll probably get it. Who cares if I get dinged for this? So this is Colbert last night on his program. Oh, mute. Hang on.
Released a new report saying a lab is another surprising development this weekend. The Department of Energy released a new report saying a lab leak is the most likely origin of the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, there it is. Chinese.
Now, he doesn't like it. Now, remember, it's not just the Energy Department that put out a report on this. The FBI also has a report. Several agencies have said this. Several agencies said it still could be naturally forming from the wet market theory, right? So there's differing opinions based on different investigations from different agencies of the United States government, right? So Colbert wants to mock this though because he doesn't want it. You know, if this is true, it doesn't look good for what he's been saying for 2 years.
These wet markets, you're off the hook. Let's order a round of pangolin poppers for the table. I love a nice plate of wet apps. Now,
okay, hilarious. Oh, fucking hilarious, Stephen. Stephen, that's hilarious. Oh, here. Oh, hilarious. Hilarious, Stephen.
If you're can we get some civet fingers, please? Now, if, like me, you're wondering why the Department of Energy is the one making this judgment, it's because...
Well, because the Department of Energy runs labs, Stephen, but of course it sounds weird to me too, because when I started the Department of Energy, why is the Department of Energy asking about, doing this? But they run labs.
That agency oversees a network of U.S. national laboratories, some of which conduct advanced biological research.
Huh. Well, at least he got that right. The Department, for whatever reason, the Department of Energy oversees these networks.
No. Bad energy department. No biolabs until you finish building your electric car charging stations.
Oh, Stephen, that's hilarious. Yes. That's hilarious. And car charging stations. Oh, I was watching a video about someone had bought at one of those electric Hummers, right? And he was driving on a trip, and he was getting, the batteries getting down to where he was down to about 30 miles. So he thought, oh, we'll go to a charging station. We'll charge up the old electric Hummer and be on our merry way. And they went to go charge the electric Hummer, and it didn't charge very fast. And so they decided, well, we'll just hang around here and see some sights, whatever. 14 hours later, he got another 60 miles of drive, drive distance, estimated 60 extra miles. It went from up to a total of 92 miles after 14 hours of charging an electric Hummer. Boy, that's efficient. I'm excited about the electric Hummer. Anyway,
stay in your lane. You don't see.
Stay in your lane.
You don't see.
Oh, stay in your lane. See, it's because I don't like the results of what you are saying. I don't like what you're saying. So we're going to make fun of it, pretending that this is not something the Energy Department is doing. Of course, I personally am curious why the Energy Department runs biological labs, but whether I'm curious about it or not, the fact is that they do, and that's why they would have this information.
You don't see the Census Bureau building nukes.
Are you sure about that? Because I know they have weapons. The post office has a lot of these government agencies all have weapons. Why do they? Some of them you're like, why does the IRS have have a supply of M16s, not M16s, M1s? What do they use now? I can't remember what the current weapon is of choice for military people, but the IRS has a bunch of them. I'll tell you that.
But whatever. Who am I to say? They're the Energy Department. I'm sure they're smart. They wouldn't release these findings unless they were absolutely confident. What's that?
Oh, now he's going to say low confidence. You know what else was low confidence? When the CIA said that Donald Trump was colluding with Russia, they had low and moderate confidence that was the case. I'm not sure if Stephen Colbert noticed that language in their assessments from the CIA of the Trump campaign supposedly colluding with Russia. Low and moderate confidence. Yeah, I wonder.
Their judgment with low confidence. Yeah, you could tell by the way they delivered the news. Maybe it was a lab.
Okay, so I get where he's going here. But anyway, so he's trending because of this. It is their lane. They were ordered to do the review because the Department of Energy is part of the Intel communication. They also run national labs. Meanwhile, how is this Colbert's lane? Also, Jon Stewart said the same thing straight to Colbert's face. In fact, I think there's a clip of that. Here's the Jon Stewart clip.
What do you mean by that? Do you mean like there's a chance that this was created in a lab, there's an investigation?
A chance?
Well, but
oh my
if there was
God.
evidence, I'd love to hear it.
I wonder if this is Jon Stewart's lane.
A novel respiratory coronavirus overtaking Wuhan, China. What do we do? Oh, you know who we could ask? The Wuhan Novel Respiratory Coronavirus Lab. The disease is the same name as the lab.
So, this was not what Stephen Colbert wants to hear from his friend Jon Stewart.
That's just a little too weird, don't you think? And then they ask those scientists, they're like, how did this? So wait a minute, you work at the Wuhan Respiratory Coronavirus Lab. How did this happen? And they're like, a pangolin kissed a turtle. And you're like, no, the name of your lab. If you look at the name, let me see your business card. Show me your business card. Oh, I work at the coronavirus lab in Wuhan. Oh.
Okay, so anyway. Poor Colbert. It is not that Colbert is stupid. He knew it was from a lab the whole damn time. It's that he's paid to keep you stupid. Well, there's a good answer. That's a good answer for that. Anyway, so that's why Stephen Colbert is trending. Happy Twitter Tuesday, by the way, if you're just getting here. Hello, Reacción a Puerto Rico. Irish uses special agents and target Rico. Okay. And M4 is for their criminal investigation division. Interesting. All right. Wait, what? That's not me. That's not my face. All right. What else? A couple other things. Now here's the big one. I'll finish with this one today. The Supreme Court of the United States of America is trending. And this is about Joe Biden apparently no, I don't think Joe Biden himself, because he's stupid. The White House is going to be arguing that the Joseph Rahim Biden himself, the president of the United States, they're going to argue that he absolutely has the authority to forgive student loan debt for 40 million Americans unilaterally. They're going to argue that case. So I wanted to show you. First, this is trending because here's the Supreme Court trending on Twitter. The Supreme Court will hear two cases challenging President Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness plan Tuesday. At stake, forgiveness of up to $20,000 in debt for 40 million Americans. Oh no, this terrible Supreme Court's going to take away your loan forgiveness. And so you see some articles, Biden is trying to cancel student debt, but is it constitutional? Okay. And so I got some different outlets that are talking about this. So let's start with just the AP, which is supposed to be neutral, right? It's supposed to be neutral. Here's the AP article: Student loan forgiveness has its day in court. What to know. The Supreme Court is meeting Tuesday to hear two cases challenging President Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. At stake, forgiveness of up to $20,000 in debt for more than 40 million Americans. Nearly half of those people could have their federal student debt wiped out entirely. Already, about 26 million people have applied for debt forgiveness, and 16 million applications have been approved. However, because of court rulings, all of the relief is on hold. The Education Department stopped taking applications in November because of legal challenges to the plan. The Supreme Court will have the ultimate say on whether Biden can wipe out student loan debt for killing. Now, isn't it interesting how they put this? Whether Biden unilaterally can wipe out student loan debt. I'm assuming that if there was a bill in Congress and everyone decided to vote on it, they might be able to do it. This is interesting because this is a contract. How can they change the terms of a contract in the middle of a contract? I don't know. But anyway, on whether Biden can wipe out student loan debt, fulfilling a campaign pledge he made in 2020. Here's what you need to. Here's what to know if you're waiting for debt relief. Now, again, you notice the way the AP words this. It's like, well, here's if you're waiting for debt relief, the Supreme Court might take it away. Can you see how they're positioning this? The plan Biden announced in August would cancel $10,000 in federal student loan debt for those earning less than $125,000 or households with less than $250,000 in income. Pell Grant recipients, who typically come from lower income households, would receive an additional $10,000 in debt forgiveness for a total of $20,000. Borrowers qualify if their federal student loans were dispersed before July 1st. How is the Supreme Court expected to rule on student loans? Hello, Midnight in Exile. So far, Republican-appointed lower court judges have kept Biden's plan from going into effect. The Supreme Court is dominated by 6-3 by conservatives, but it remains to be seen how the justices will rule. Their questions in oral arguments Tuesday, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern, will give the court will give the insight into what they're thinking. When will the Supreme Court decide when the student loan decide the student loan cases? The Supreme Court hears arguments Tuesday, but there won't be a decision for months. The court usually issues all of its decisions by the end of June. How will I know if my student loans will be forgiven? I mean, like, I want my student loans forgiven. Debt forgiveness, if it goes ahead, is for borrowers holding federal student loans, not private loans. To determine what kind of loans you hold, log on to the National Federal Student Aid website, studentaid.gov. Okay, so again, they're only going to be forgiving federal student loans, which most loans, I think, especially in the last 10, 15 years, have all been federal loans. They stopped the private loan business. You might still have private student loans. To determine what kind of a loan you hold, log on to the Federal Student Aid website, studentaid.gov. Direct loans, including Parent Plus loans, qualify. Some older FFEL and Perkins loans are also eligible if owned by the Department of Education. For people holding older FFEL loans, consolidating those loans can lead to credit for forgiveness under certain income-driven repayment plans. Will the pause at student loan payments continue? During the pandemic, 2 presidential administrations paused payments for those holding federal student loans. The pause has been extended to as late as this summer. Payments are set to resume along with the accrual of interest by 60 days after the court cases are resolved. For example, if legal issues remain at the end of June, payments would restart at the end of August. If the court issues a ruling in March, repayment could start as early as May or June. If the cases haven't been resolved by June 30th, payments will start 60 days after that. So that's that, and there's a couple more things. Now, here's how the Washington Post packages this. Supreme Court to hear arguments on student loan forgiveness. Okay, and this is the Washington Post staff who wrote this one. Hi, TC, what's up? I see you on the other side, too. Both sides of the ledger here. The Supreme Court on Tuesday, let's see, is this basically the same article? It is almost the exact same article. So they must have it says Washington Post staff, but it looks like almost the same article as the AP. Well, not really. They've changed it a little bit too. Okay, now listen to this though. Listen to this line. The Supreme Court on Tuesday will hear oral arguments in a pair of challenges to President Biden's far-reaching initiative that would forgive nearly $500 billion in student loan debt. The proposal has exposed yet another fault line in American society between those who believe the White House has the legal authority to cancel loan debt and faces a moral imperative to do so, and those who consider it a grave and unaffordable overextension of executive authority. This is absolutely an overextension of executive authority. The president can unilaterally, without getting legislation, forgive something that took legislation to get? Really? A president can veto portions of what a prior legislature and president already signed into law? Another president just come and say, well, nope, we're going to forgive part of that. I swear, I don't know how the Supreme Court could, I don't know how a single judge would think this is okay. That the president, that a current president, can basically, under our Constitution, veto some or all of what a prior legislature and president have already signed into law. How can the president do that on executive order? Does that make sense to anybody? But what they do is they want to show you, oh, well, this is going to help so many people. Oh, here's how student loan debt breaks down. Here, oh, outside the court, I don't think debt should be necessary. Well, what? Okay, there's a whole bunch of little articles on here. About 1 in 5 Americans hold a piece of the $1.6 trillion outstanding student federal debt. More than half of those 45 million people with federal student loans have $20,000 or less to pay, with about a third of all borrowers owing less than $10,000. 7% of the people with federal debt owe more than $100,000. Usually because their lawyers or doctors and that they should be paying their loans. Now, Kalina Masharek, 23. See, a 23-year-old's going to tell you why it's important to absolve her of some of her debt. Kalina Meyersack, I don't know, 23, showing support for President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan outside the court, says it allows her to start saving for her future. I get to start saving money for retirement. I get to buy a house, like all of those big life decisions. Oh, yay! You know, when I was 23, I had student loan debt, and then I had to pay my student loan debt before I could go start saving for my retirement. I mean, I get it, youngster, but you signed on the dotted line a contract. Outside the court, this person says, I don't think debt should be necessary. Jalen R. Smith got in line outside the Supreme Court about 8 p.m. Monday night in driving rain, wrapped in a scarf and earmuffs. Tuesday morning, he was excited that he had withstood the cold overnight, gotten a ticket, and could hear oral arguments. A brass band was playing. People in yellow NAACP hats and many holding signs had gathered outside the court for the People's Rally for Debt Cancellation. Yes, everyone wants free money. Let's just have everyone get free money. Which included congressional leaders and more than 20 groups, including the NAACP and the National Education Association, and Move On. Oh, yay! Joy in Mudville. And again, they talk about who, you know what? Interesting. I don't see anything in the Washington Post article here. I don't see anyone here who's against the Supreme Court over not allowing this. Let's see. Oh, wait. Debt cancellation opponent. Finally, quite a reach. While activists and borrowers rallied Tuesday at the Supreme Court, many of those who opposed debt cancellation were preparing to listen to the arguments as well. Lindsay Burke, director of the Center for Education Policy at the Heritage Foundation, said a key question will be whether the 20-year-old HEROES Act is appropriate for student loan forgiveness. I think it is quite a reach on the part of the Biden administration, and that they really tried to leverage that to enact policies that they otherwise could not get through Congress, to use unilateral executive power to cancel debt that could be in the hundreds of billions of dollars. Meet the lawyers arguing the student loan plan case. The Biden administration is represented by Solicitor General Elizabeth B. Prelogar, who will speak first in both cases. Prelogar is the administration's top advocate at the Supreme Court and a regular before the justices. She is only the second woman confirmed to the position and is a former law clerk to Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Elena Kagan. The 6 Republican-led states challenging Biden's program are represented by Nebraska Solicitor General James A. Campbell, who is making his debut at the Supreme Court. Campbell was previously a senior counsel for the conservative law firm Alliance Defending Freedom. So, but they do have a lot of people. There's all the people who, well, I need my student loan debt canceled. And that, so anyway, interesting couple things here. This was published at Politico on the same day the Biden administration headed to the Supreme Court to insist that it can hand over 4% of the U.S. GDP to college graduates without congressional approval. So this is an article in Politico that came up. Biden's new deficit hawk persona has some progressives feeling some bad deja vu. Joe Biden spent the last 2 years pursuing... Now, wait a minute. His what? His deficit hawk persona? What the actual hell are you talking about? His deficit hawk persona? His deficit hawk persona?
You're a lying dog face pony.
Oh my God! When has Biden become a deficit hawk? Oh my God! Biden zeroes in on the deficit ahead of coming showdowns with the GOP over the debt ceiling and federal budget. You got to be kidding me. Joe Biden spent the last 2 years pursuing and enacting massive domestic programs meant to remake the U.S. economy, but as he prepares for a run for re-election, Biden is trying out a new economic persona, deficit hawk.
You're a lying dog face pony soldier.
Come on, man.
The president has made an effort to sell his administration as a model of fiscal restraint in recent weeks, casting falling deficits as an increasingly central focus of his agenda. Biden now routinely touts a $1.7 trillion drop in the deficit on his watch as an accomplishment. Are you serious? You mean all that spending we did for COVID that we're not doing now is something you did? You got to be kidding. Hello, Stan Ulch. Oh, my God. Yeah, more like Warhawk persona, which means spending. No, probably according to Politico, he's a peacenik. He's an anti-war hero. Oh my God. My economics plan is working, Biden said in a speech last week, peppering his remarks with more than a dozen references to the deficit. It's reducing the deficit. It's fiscally responsible. Bull crappy. Hello, Kay. How you doing? Thank you for sponsoring the show. Dropping a big Lincoln in the tip jar. I appreciate it. It says, I get the pay your own damn loans crowd, but I get messed up with Globe College and still haven't seen a dime back about other defunct colleges. You know what? I wasn't there a settlement though with Globe College? I don't know. I know that's a little bit different case. No, my wife has loans from Crown or something like that. That we're going to be paying off because she went back to get her BSN. She has a 2-year RA degree, but then she wanted to get a BSN because she had a job that she wanted to go, and now she's changed her mind. But we still have to pay the loans off. But we got to pay the loans off because we took them out, and so whatever. So, but I get you. You get messed up with Globe College and still haven't seen a dime back. Yeah, that's a settlement, though. And I don't know if maybe we can help. Anyone knows anything about that, we can get that information to you because that's not there was what is it? I should look that up. I'll look that up when I get done with the show today. But thank you, Kay, for sponsoring the show. Greatly appreciate you. So anyway, I don't know. Deficit hawk? Joe Biden deficit hawk. That's like that's kind of like Abraham Lincoln vampire hunter. It's kind of it's a myth and a legend that really never happened, but it's funny to talk about and make a great movie. I don't know. Anyway, by the way, if you haven't seen that movie, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, it's actually quite entertaining, even though it's so weird. But anyway, so anyway, that's what people are talking about. Now let's see. Here's and then here's one other outlet covering this. Supreme Court may crush Biden's student loan bailout dreams. The United States Supreme Court could put an end to President Joe Biden's plan to cancel a portion of American student loans after the Supreme Court hears oral arguments Tuesday. Legal and educational experts told the Daily Caller News Foundation. Biden announced in August that $20,000 of student loan debt would be forgiven to borrowers who received Pell Grants and $10,000 for borrowers who did not. But the plan was put on ice in November after a federal judge in Texas ruled that the plan was an unconstitutional exercise of Congress's legislative power. Yes, it should be Congress. And I don't, look, if Congress, the Senate and the House of Representatives passed a bill that put the president's student loan forgiveness plan in motion, I would still hate it. I would still think it was bullshit. But that would be the correct legislative process, and I couldn't argue they would not be allowed to do it. They would be undoing something that they did through the legislative process that was, approved by Congress and signed by a president. A president cannot veto what a past legislative body and a president has a prior legislative body and president has signed unilaterally. You'd have to do it through legislation. So whatever you think about student loan forgiveness, the way Joseph Rahim Biden is doing it is clearly unconstitutional. This would be like, okay, let's say the Congress of the United States and the president passed this so-called assault weapons ban, right? This Congress, this legislature did that, right? And then in 2024, we get a new president from the Republican Party, but we get a split House and Senate. Okay, so the new president from the Republican Party, let's say it's the guy with the funny hair again. Let's say he gets reelected in 2024, and Raheem Biden and whatever, they pass this assault weapons ban, right? That would be like allowing the next president say, well, I'm going to by executive order repeal this assault weapons ban that the prior Congress passed and the president signed. It's vetoing something a prior legislator and president did. It's not constitutional. You would have to go through if it's passed by a legislature and signed by the president, you'd have to go through the same process to remove it or even partially remove it. And that's the problem with this Joe Biden student debt relief plan. And not a single justice of the Supreme Court should be going along with this, although we already know that there are at least 2, most likely 3 of the justices who are going to say, oh no, the president absolutely has the power to do that. And they should be just thrown off the court. But you can't do that either because, whatever. So anyway. All right, guys, that's it. I can't take any more of this Twitter nonsense. So I hope you all have a wonderful Tuesday. I'm considering doing another stream this afternoon. I don't know for sure. Hey, Fox P2 and Special Can Acid. But if I don't, I'll be back here tomorrow because I'm here Monday through Friday, somewhere around 10 o'clock Eastern. Didn't work out yesterday today, but I'll try a little better tomorrow. 9 o'clock Central. And if you'd be so kind, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button. Do that thing. Share the stream, even though it's over. If you're watching on replay, let me know what you think about the Supreme Court's decision. Are they going to uphold Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, or are they going to reject it? I have a feeling this is going to be a 5-4 decision because somehow Justice Roberts is going to somehow twist and turn and, twist himself into knots, finding ways to make a president vetoing a prior president's signature constitutional. I don't know. I just got a feeling that he's going to do it, and it's going to be a 5-4, and it's going to be controversial, and it'll be the nasty Republicans repealed my student loan forgiveness. They should have forgiven my student loans. So anyway, all right. That's enough, Marty. Time to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you tomorrow. My name is Dawg Knight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Having a great day. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.